Okay, I am so excited to talk to you guys. I think we are one of the first AI channels to talk about this. There's not a lot of videos on YouTube. I found, or I will give credit to my dev team actually. My dev called me yesterday. We've been playing with OpenClaw for the last couple of months since released. To be honest, it's not that good. Everyone that is saying it's good is either making money off of you using it or they built their brand around it and now they can't pivot. I'm agnostic. I want to give you guys the best tools possible, and I want to use the best tools possible. And I've been trying to do a lot of things with co-work, and it has some limitations. I've been trying to do a lot of things with even like Manus, Perplexity, has some limitations. However, I found a OpenClaw type agent that actually works. It's actually smart. It's 1/100th the price and token cost of using an OpenClaw from obviously the best setup. And it is blowing me away. Now, for full context, I've only used this for about a day and a half. But in that day and a half, I've had enough time to be like, okay, this is legit. Because we've been really deep in AI for a long time. It's called Hermes Agent, okay? And it's from a company called Noose Research. I think that this means they're from MIT, maybe. Anyway, this is the best agentic sort of like CLI, whatever you want to call these, like OpenClaw that I've ever used. And I've used a couple of them since OpenClaw trying to find a better alternative. And in this video, we're going to go through exactly why, how to set it up. I'm going to show you some of the stuff I'm doing with it already, how quickly it is to use, and really why I think this is a must-have. And this is going to be the new OpenClaw. And everybody's going to start making videos about this, but we're going to post it first. So here's what happened. Noose Research is one of the most respected AI research labs in the open source world. It's the team behind the entire Hermes model family. They dropped a new project on GitHub a couple weeks ago, and it's already starting to go parabolic. They call it Hermes Agent, not Hermes, Hermes, like the Greek thing. The tagline, the agent that grows with you, and that is actually true. We'll get into that here in a moment in the specificities. Within weeks, it's trending at the top of OpenRouter alongside OpenClaw and Claude. It hit top of the charts in personal agent rankings, and developers who've been frustrated with OpenClaw's repetition loops are switching, including myself. I am a OpenClaw hater. I will go ahead and raise my hand and say that. I've been building AI for the last 2 years. We have a legitimate enterprise AI software company. Myself and my dev both share the sentiment that OpenClaw is overhyped. It's not that good, has a lot of flaws. We could go down a whole list. However, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about why Hermes is so cool, because this will change the game for you guys. It is an open source, self-hosted, autonomous AI agent that runs your infrastructure, connects to your messaging, gets measurably better at your specific work the longer it runs. So it's not self-improving autonomously, but it is proactive in the sense of it does get better every time you talk to it and every time you use it and have it do tasks. And we'll explain why. So what does that agent that grows with you actually means? Well, it's a self-learning loop, and this is how it works. Contrary to whatever you may have heard with OpenClaw, it's pretty dumb. It doesn't remember things. Even if you give it the memory skills, which I did, it doesn't really remember. You got to repeat yourself, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of using AI. However, with this, in my experience already, you give it a task, it begins executing. It comes pre-built with 40 plus skills. It can use a browser, which my OpenClaw could not, even if I gave it the dev tools MCP. So it's smart. It can use everything. It does whatever I say. There's really no limitation there. I'm still sandboxing it. I still have it on a Mac Mini, proper security setup and all that. But we're going to skip through that in this video. Every 15 tool calls, it hits what's called a self-evaluation checkpoint, saying, hey, what have I done? Did it work? What failed? What's worth remembering? Should I create a skill? It proactively creates skills. I don't have to do it myself. I don't have to go do it. For example, I was making images, and I'll show you guys right now actually. I was making images with mine for statics, right? For carousels, for statics, for ads, for whatever. And you can see my back and forth here with this. These are really good, by the way. Like, this is not a bad creative at all. I will run this as an ad. This is really good in my opinion. And so I had to go back and forth. I had to give it some like examples. I had to give it, hey, here's the skill that we're currently using on Cowork for this. Like, here's the brand, here's everything. And it's doing a combination of using Nano Banana through fal.ai which is just like an agentic API for generative tools. It's just easier for it to use than Google AI Studio with that key. Same thing. And it's also doing Python because I want my logo added onto these. For example, here in the top corner, I want my logo. Now, if I do that through Nano Banana, it's not going to use my logo exactly. It's going to go like make some random samurai helmet. And so it was smart enough to tell me, hey, we're going to use a hybrid approach. We're going to use Python to actually like overlay your logo onto the images, and I'll just make the images with Nano Banana. And then if there's any errors, we'll just redo that part with Python, because Python is code-based, so it's much more accurate. And you see, these are really good. But the cool part, and what I want to show you guys, is this. As we're using it, it opens its own terminal, it writes its own file, and then if it needs to, it will call a skill. Like you can see here, skill view, inference-sh. I don't know what skill this is. I didn't set that up. It was a pre-made skill. But it will basically do what I ask. It makes these great creatives, statics, whatever. It saves it. If I say, hey, that's really, really good, it saves it, remembers it, and then we can repeat. Like, these are pretty fire, I'm not going to lie. Then I have the social media manager who is scheduling out and writing posts. And so you can see here, we have the cron job is already set up. The scheduling is already set up. It's making carousels for my stuff. It's doing a lot. It's doing visual research on competitors for us. And then this visual agent is giving that data to the ads creator agent. Again, without any setup, all I did was said, hey, I want you to do research on these brands that are our competitors, see what statics they're running, what's working well, and then feed that data to the ads creator. It just auto does it. I don't got to set anything up. I don't got to connect these channels. I just make the channel, I talk to it, and it knows what I'm wanting to do because it's smart. Like, even when I started writing the posts, I started with copy, of course. I wrote the copy first, and then it goes, hey, do you want me to create images following the brand guidelines that we just did for the ads, also for these carousel images for like social media posts? On its own, it said that, okay? So when I say it's smart and it's valuable, I mean it. It is proactively creating skills and remembering things, and it does remember things. So if something is worth preserving, it'll create a skill document, which obviously it's going to save as a markdown file. Then it's going to write it to persistent memory in a SQLite database. You don't need to know what this is. Then it's going to compress that learning for future sessions. So it's basically like a scratch pad that it has, and then it will save the good key files on your computer, obviously, because it's on your device. Then the task completes. Then if I like it, I'm like, hey, that was awesome. It's just going to be like, hey, this was good. Now, the result of this compared to like an OpenClaw is the agent working with you in month 3 is meaningfully more capable on your specific work than the agent you started with in month 1. It gets better over time, and it does not forget anything. It has 3 types of memory. So we have memory.md. This is a persistent file, like an actual markdown file on my Finder, right? I'm on Mac. Then it has skill documents. This is procedural memory. So when the agent completes a complex task, like 5+ tool calls, it will write a skill document to kind of remember how it did that. So if I get a good result, think of it as I prompt, I go back and forth, whatever, I'm engineering, I get a result I like. It will then save that chain and be like, oh, he liked that, that worked, that gave us a good result. How did we do it? Okay, save that so we can do it again. That way you can just repeat things that are good. You're basically repeating winning behavior, which is awesome. And then you have the session database. So this is like in that session of talking, it's written to a persistent SQLite database. This is just tech jargon. Not just the outcome, but the process, like I just explained. What the agent tried, what worked, what failed, what messages were exchanged, etc. And that gives the agent something OpenClaw has never had, which is a searchable history of its own behavior that it can learn from. I didn't set any memory up. I didn't even set up a soul.md file. All that I told it was, hey, here's kendo.ai. This is my company. We're going to do stuff for it. That's all I said. And it just started ripping. So I'm an OpenClaw hater. I will openly say this. What are the differences between OpenClaw and Hermes Agent if you are using OpenClaw, for example? Well, we can go through this pretty briefly. This is on Python. Now, I'm not a full dev. I don't know the difference between the pros and cons of using these. So we're going to skip that. Self-learning, it does. OpenClaw does not. It, on the memory, uses 3 different forms of memory rather than just the MD files so that it can have a working memory on top of a permanent saved memory, which I'm noticing is helping a lot in recall and things. Autonomous skill creation from tasks. If I tell it to do something and it does it well, it just makes that as a skill so it can do it again without wasting memory, and it's a lot more efficient. Terminal backends, we're going to skip this. Same messaging stuff. I have mine on Discord for the multi-channel. Email support, model support. Now, this is an important note. I have my Hermes Agent running on Kimi K2.5. Now, why? One of the problems I had when I was using Claude, Opus or Sonnet, was it's very expensive, and I was burning through tokens like crazy, okay? The proper way to do this is you got to think of it like an engine, okay? I have a good solid engine, but then I need good tires, I need good suspension, I need good everything else. When I want to go make a creative image, I want to use Nano Banana, right? I want to use like the good stuff. So that API key is going to get charged token usage, but the calling of that tool or the calling of that API key should not be done with something like Opus. It should be done with something cheap, to where yesterday I spent a total of like $3 the whole day just doing everything that I did with my Hermes Agent. Whereas before, just setting up OpenClaw with Claude, it cost me $100 in a day in token usage. So the proper way to do this is use something like Kimi K2.5. It's cheap, it's open source. As far as like the benchmarks, it's just as good as these other platforms. Like if I'm going to code, I'll still use Codex and things. But I'm using this as the engine. This is the daily driver. And then it connects to and uses whatever other tools that I need, which obviously are going to be the API keys for like a Creative Studio or, whatever else I'm using. Codex, doesn't matter. The cron scheduling actually works. So I would schedule all kinds of stuff on OpenClaw. It wouldn't work. This actually works. First shot. So I don't know why. It just works the way it's supposed to. No heartbeat or wake up. It uses cron instead. And OpenClaw wakes up every 5 minutes. Now, deployment, we'll skip this. RL training, we'll skip this as well. This is all super, super, super technical stuff. Also, setup was not that hard. You're going to literally go here. You're going to copy this. You're going to paste this in your terminal, and you're just going to follow what it says. And my advice is if you have issues, literally just copy what the terminal says, paste it into Claude Code, and say, hey, I'm trying to set this up. I don't know why I'm struggling. Like, please help me. So you're going to copy this line. You're going to put it in your terminal, and you're going to follow this. We're going to breeze through this. It's self-guided anyway. I recommend using Moonshot Kimi K2.5. It's cheap. It's super cheap. You just add credits. You add a limit, so you don't got to worry about if the API key gets leaked or something. You're not going to get billed, and you start the agent. Then you're going to see something like this, and you're going to just do what it says. I recommend also using Discord, because on Discord you get multi-channel, which you got to think, this is central command. It has agents itself, and so I want each channel to be an agent. It's a lot easier to organize, and I think it probably also helps memory because it's not compacting everything in one chat. It probably, you got to confirm this. This is like bro science, but I think it helps with the memory and context windows and everything like that. So I would use Kimi K2.5. I would use Discord, set it up, and then get rocking. You can also migrate from OpenClaw. I chose not to because my OpenClaw is terrible. So I didn't want to carry over any bad practices. So let's go over some specific Hermes features that we haven't yet. So these are the big selling points if you go to their website. 40 built-in tools that are pre-configured. They actually work. In OpenClaw, you had to configure each skill or tool, and it would literally take a day to do because you got to go back and forth. It forgets, it's dumb. I'm not having any browser issues with Hermes Agent. It actually uses a browser, and it doesn't even open it in my Chrome window. It opens its own through Chromium, I think, the Chromium MCP. So it opens up a browser, it uses a browser, it screenshots, it can visually see it, and I did nothing, and it works fine. Like, it's awesome. It can do file read and write, terminal commands, image gen. It natively comes with Flux. I want Nano Banana. It does TTS. It does vision. It has image understanding, and it does code execution as well. I'm going to hook it up to some things that I'm vibe coding right now and see if I can just run it autonomously and see what happens. It's pretty good. It also comes pre-configured with security. Now, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. I'm not a security expert, so I still have mine on a Mac Mini on a new Apple account with only what I want it to be logged in. It's on a separate device. I have this giant monitor here beside me. The cron scheduler, crazy concept, having something actually work as it's supposed to. OpenClaw didn't work for me. This schedule works really well, and I can see it. It shows progress of what it's doing in a task, and it'll say schedule, cron, it does it. It kind of just works, which is great. Model flexibility, obviously you can use whatever models you want. Again, I recommend Kimi and Moonshot. It's very cheap. It works really, really well. That's a good engine to sort of daily drive this. You can also run it completely free if you're on a budget using Ollama or something like Minimax, which is just open source and free. Obviously, I recommend paying for Kimi. You can literally run a month's worth of work for probably $20, which is, come on. And then finally, sub-agent spawning. So it can parallel multiple agents to go do things on its own, proactively. If it knows it needs to, it's just going to go do it. That's a capability that is native to Hermes, and it requires a lot of custom setup in OpenClaw if you wanted the same feature. So basically, long story short, it's what OpenClaw promised to be, but it actually works, unlike OpenClaw. Now, here's some examples of use cases. And again, you can do a million things with this. But number one, automated weekly client reports. You're going to set up a cron. You're going to have it message. You're going to have it pull data, make a report, send it to you in Slack, send it to whatever, okay? Number two, autonomous lead research. You can 100% have this do GTM engineering like we did with all the Claude videos we made. That's pretty common sense. Number three, content repurposing. I'm literally doing that right now as I showed you guys. Works very, very well. You just got to go back and forth and fine tune and get the images that you like and the style you like. And then the trick is you get one you like, you say, hey, reverse engineer this and save it as a skill and to memory so that we can just recreate images like this with different copy. Sales call intelligence, like get creative here. This one actually works. That's what I'm going to keep saying. It actually works. So anything that you were like, oh, this would be a good idea with OpenClaw. Well, if it didn't work there, it probably works here. And I'm blown away. I think it's a great product. Bottom line, OpenClaw is not dead. It has a lot of stars. It had a great marketing campaign. I'm going to be honest, I'm not using OpenClaw anymore. We're going to put Jarvis to sleep permanently. But the Hermes agent just answered the most fundamental question that every serious AI operator is asking, which is, why does my agent keep making the same mistakes and not remember what I told it? I don't know. I don't know the technical specifications, but I do know that Hermes actually works. And I've used it for about a day, and I'm already blown away. So I highly recommend you guys go set it up. If you need help, literally just go through this. Their docs are very good as well. Go through step by step. Feed the docs to Claude Code if you need help. Run it in your terminal. Get it set up. Set it up with Kimi K 2.5. Set up Discord. You now have an agent, and you have multi-agent actually, and you're rocking and rolling. So I hope that helps. I'll see you guys on the next video.